What's good, family? So mash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. Wow, it's all kicking off right now between Devin, no power having Haney, and George Kambosos. George, unified champion Kambosos. Now, for you man who don't know, Kambosos obviously has all the belts at 135. He looking for a fight. Devin, no power having Haney, is allegedly the WBC champion, and he's looking for a fight. Now, obviously, I'm neutral. I think they should get it on. However, they're going through it right now, essentially. And it's a bit like he said, she said. George Kambosos has just clapped back at no power having Haney, and it's looking bad for Haney right now. Check this out. When I said, now we can talk, I meant it. I didn't expect at real Devin Haney for you to manipulate and play games. At Eddie Hearn, what's wrong with your boy? Yes or no, Dazn boxing? Have you got faith in no power having Haney or not? That's the first shot he took. So he's alleging Kambosos is hinting that Dazn have got a lot of woof and not much substance, which unfortunately has actually been the case quite a lot recently. Yeah, don't forget, Eddie Hearn and Dazn lost the Fury vs White purse bid. And really, what have Dazn won recently? They lost Canelo as well to PBC. Oops. Yeah? What is Dazn really winning in boxing right now? Tell me the last big show. What, some random 118 pounders? The event last weekend? Damn, it's bad. What, Taylor vs Serrano? Oh, damn, it's bad. I'm sorry, but that's bad. You know, in my opinion, you know it's bad, yeah? When $1 billion company, all they've got to talk about is Taylor vs Serrano. Ain't no one trying to watch that. That's a fact. Bob weren't lying. Oops. Yeah, obviously, all you SJW dons can lie to yourselves about how big the fight is. The fight, don't no one care about the fight. That's what the facts are. Yeah? Now, obviously, again, you SJW dons can jump all over it, but the truth is the truth. So, like you heard there from Kambosos, Kambosos is hinting that Dazn is down bad. And they ain't putting no paper up. Anyway, he weren't finished there. He goes on. Haney, the boy, said he'd go to Jupiter to fight me. Newsflash, mate. Australian stadiums are open and at full capacity. Full international travel starts next month, so you can bring all of your goofy team. I have not seen one offer with a dollar amount from you or your team. But you sent a contract, allegedly, ? Dazn have got no money for you, no power having Haney. Ouch. Damn. That was that last part there. And this is the dread thing. It's true, I'm afraid. No power having Haney is not a draw. And the thing is, again, Eddie Hearn and Dazn have done a lot of woofing. Yeah, and I'm sorry, but this for me is becoming a bit frequent now. Yeah, Eddie Hearn woofed for months about we're gonna do what's right for Dillian. Don't worry, Dillian, we're going to go for batting for you. We're going to win the purse bid. Yeah, I did a video on it myself, exposed the fact that Eddie Hearn was woofing a whole bunch about what he's going to do. It came to it, he ain't do nothing. Now, on that same note, what do we know? What narrative did Eddie, when this fight weren't close to being done, when before the Kambosos and Haney fight really got to the business end, which it's at now. Yeah, now, today, as of February 9th, 2022, now is what we call the business end of Undisputed at 135. All it takes is a big offer to be sent and for people to sign. That's it. There's nothing else stopping in the way. Before, there was Teofimo and this guy and this fight and that mandatory, and there was a whole bunch of weirdness in the middle. That isn't the case, but guess what? When there was a whole bunch of random things going on, like Teofimo and mandatories and Triller, when that phase was going on, when Teofimo was champion, what did What was Eddie Hearn saying? Was Eddie Hearn saying, well, we need to negotiate, we need to look at the numbers? No. I remember Eddie Hearn saying, listen, we want undisputed for Devin Haney. We'll pay Devin. We'll pay anything for that fight. We'll pay both fighters big money. I remember hearing it all. No word of a lie. I remember Eddie Hearn on his soapbox talking about what he's going to do to get Devin Haney the undisputed fight. We can do it on your platform and I'll pay Haney. We can do it on Dazn and I'll pay you both 10 million. He was going mad, wasn't he? I remember it. I remember the numbers that were being thrown around. But that was when the fight weren't nowhere close to being done. That was when it was easy to woof. Now though, now we're at the business end, it appears. Kambosos is alleging, which I believe him, that all of a sudden, when all that talk, all that woof Eddie Hearn was giving about what he's going to do and all the money he's going to put up for DAZN, that George Kambosos is alleging there's none of that. George Kambosos just said he has not received one offer with a dollar amount. Oops. Why not, Eddie? Eddie was saying categorically he wants to put that fight on with DAZN. He said he'll pay anything for that fight to get the fight done. Now, I'm not saying I'm someone who believes in good business, which means that I was actually critiquing Eddie. When Eddie was paying these silly amounts for crap fights, I think he paid Mikey Garcia like 8 million for some bum fight. I was against that. Why? It's not good business. I'm for sustainable and good business. The same way I called out Al Heyman. Al Heyman at one point was paying loads of money for bum fights. It's not sustainable. I'm not for that. And I'm going to call it out when I see it. However, no one didn't ask you to woof. Yeah? If you want to make a sustainable business, make a sustainable business. But again, the problem is, months ago, don't give everyone blue balls. Don't blue balls everyone. And the problem is, you see, Eddie Hearn has woofed so much, he's raised everyone's expectations. Yeah? When Eddie Hearn was saying, we're going to do this, we'll pay for that, we'll do this, we'll do that. People hear that, Eddie. George Kambosos hears that. And that's increased his expectations. And now you can't even send an offer in. Now you're scared to make an offer. Oops. It don't make no sense. George Kambosos alleges, which I believe him, you have not sent in one offer with a dollar amount. Why not? It's weird. And we know Hearn's going through it because there was a stage here, Eddie Hearn was desperate for talent. He was offering bums like Adrian Broner money. Now in comparison, fast forward to 2022, what do we know? Well, a massive entity in Terence Crawford is now categorically available. Eddie Hearn was begging for people like Adrian Broner, who's a bum. Now, Terence Crawford's a free agent and Eddie Hearn isn't sending any offers in. That shows you, and I've heard confidentially that Eddie Hearn's going through it with DAZN. I'm hearing Eddie Hearn has really effed up the accounts at DAZN. He's burnt a whole bunch of money. He's paid himself a whole bunch of money via AJ and via Canelo. Because when Eddie Hearn's getting 5-10% commission, he was paying AJ and Canelo massive amounts of money and then getting his own cut off the end. So I'm hearing DAZN have told him, listen Eddie, yeah, we know what scams you've been running, but that's not working no more. And I actually believe what's happened is, you see, Eddie Hearn was woofing months ago about what he's going to do for Devin Haney. That was before DAZN touched him and told him, listen, you ain't going to be doing what you used to be doing, and handing out a bunch of money. And rather than come out and actually say it, sorry, Eddie Hearn needs to come out now and say, listen Devin, listen George Kambosos, I've burnt a whole bunch of DAZN's money and they've got nothing to show for it. They've got no we just paid Canelo Alvarez $500 million and he's got no loyalty to us. He's swanning off to PBC. So you've essentially paid something for nothing. Yeah, because all them subscribers that you had from Alvarez, they've fucked off again. Back to PBC. Oops. Yeah? So Eddie Hearn's paid all this money out where he's getting a commission himself and they've got nothing to show for it. So Eddie Hearn needs to come out now and say, listen, I've been got by Dazn. The jig's up, people. There's no more freebies. All I can offer you now is good and true business opportunities. Eddie Hearn can't, I'm hearing Eddie Hearn at Dazn can't offer any more loss leading opportunities. A loss leading opportunity is where a business accepts the loss for other reasons. So, for example, promotional reasons. Okay, well, we want to promote our brand Dazn. We're prepared to overpay for this fight just to get our name out there. Eddie Hearn's had that phase now. Now, Dazn are telling him, listen, you need to get back into the business phase, where we're making real money. Don't forget, people, for a long time, people forgot Dazn's in the money-making business. The whole point of putting fights on is to make money from them. For a while, some of you man thought that Dazn was some sort of charity, where they pay people a whole bunch of money for nothing. No, these fights need to start making money. And that's why Eddie Hearn ain't sending these guys no offers. Because, in reality, Haney versus Kambosos is not a big fight. They'll be lucky to get $1 million or $2 million each. How many pay-per-views do you think that does? I reckon it does about 100,000. Let's be real now. Bear in mind, people, Fury and Wilder, the first fight, did 300k. If Fury and Wilder did 300k in the first fight, and that was a heavyweight champion, and Tyson Fury, who beat Klitschko, if that does 300k, Haney and Kambosos would be lucky to do 100k. Now 100k at $80-$70 is $7 million. Oops. Take the costs off and everything else, you'll be lucky to get $1 million or $2 million at the most. Haney will. Now before, Eddie Hearn was throwing around numbers like $8 million a pop. I mean, don't forget, there was one time Eddie Hearn was offering Wilder $25 million to fight Brazil. That's how ridiculous Eddie had got. And it's a shame, really, that Eddie didn't take more of a long-term view. I.e., okay, we don't need to shine so brightly, so quickly. Like, in my mind, if I had Dazn's budget, I'd have come into boxing. There's no rush, really, I don't believe. Come into boxing and take the opportunities that are there. The problem was, they came in and they tried to force it. And all it does is create an unsustainable business. And it also makes people more greedy. Because it's desperate. If you come in and you poach and you take good deals, so for example, I don't know, Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury, that may have been a good deal to go hard on. Yeah? Deontay Wilder versus Dominic Breazeale, paying $30 million for that fight, that's not a good deal to go hard on. Think about it. No word of a lie. Eddie Hearn offered Deontay Wilder and Breazeale $25 million. He just offered White and Fury $30 million. That can't work, can it? And when you think about inflation, they're essentially the same deals. So Eddie Hearn offered the same money for Wilder and Breazeale as he did White and Fury. That shows you how skewed his business was. He wasn't looking to take good opportunities. He would just throw in money and hoping something stuck. Not a good look. And now, look at him. I mean, this Kambosos fight versus Haney, it was never a big fight, but he should have more firepower than he has now. Eddie Hearn can't offer these cats more than $1 million apiece, and I think that's why he's reluctant to put a number on the paper, because he doesn't want to embarrass himself. Even though Haney's not making, it's not like Haney can laugh at the number, because even if he's offered $1 million, that's more than Haney ever made. Sorry, that's more than Kambosos has ever made. But I think the reason Eddie Hearn isn't, or I'm hearing, the reason Eddie Hearn isn't sending a figure amount is because he doesn't want to be laughed at, kind of thing. He knows that after all this woofing, because Eddie Hearn was woofing about $5, $6, $7, $8 million. So what happens now when he sends an email with $1 million? Kambosos is going to come out and say, listen, you're having a laugh, you told me 7, now it's 1. Damn, you're down bad. And I'm hearing after Eddie Hearn's unlucky spell recently, emotionally he can't take that. He doesn't want to be officially exposed, if that makes sense. Because that'll be official expose, won't it? That will show that Dazn have no trust in him anymore. If Eddie Hearn really inks on paper he's only got $1 million to offer, that shows he down the baddest. So Eddie Hearn doesn't want to put himself out there like that. Hence, we are where we are. I mean, let's get straight here. If you don't agree with me, the question is, why isn't Eddie Hearn sending these big offers in that he talked about for so long? Oops. Yeah, I'm afraid to say, people, Eddie Hearn lovers or whatever, it's nothing to do with me. I'm just telling you what's going on. Because Kambosos isn't lying. And notice, yeah, if Kambosos was lying, why isn't Eddie Hearn saying, you're lying, we sent you a $10 million offer last week? Oops. Eddie Hearn quiet. He ain't making no sounds. Before, Eddie Hearn was the man who was known for getting into it on Twitter and sending receipts. He ain't sending no receipts. He ain't getting into nothing. Because he ain't got the budget to do any of that. He down bad right now. And we really are in a sad place where Eddie Hearn can't even send an offer because he knows it's nothing like the woof he was doing. Damn. It's wild right now. If your name's Eddie Hearn, that's for sure. Listen. I mean, the whole situation's a mess, but really, yeah, Eddie Hearn shouldn't have woofed, but end of the day, I'm someone who believes in good business and... what's the word? Yeah, I believe in good business and I believe in market rate business. And what I mean by market rate business is that, guess what? Kambosos, Haney, even though, like I said, Eddie Hearn was wrong to gas you up about $7 million each, at the end of the day, your current market rate is not 7. Because if it was, you'd be having offers from everyone for $7 or $8 million. There's a reason right now, Kambosos, you're out here begging Lomachenko for an offer. And Bob ain't going to give you that either, I don't believe. Because you ain't worth that. So I suggest, whilst, yeah, you can laugh at Eddie for gassing the place up, ultimately, you need to accept you ain't an $8 million man yet. Yes, you've got the belts, but people forget. People think now that, oh, I've got the belts, I must be worth 10 million. Tiafimo did it. Oh, I've got the belts, Bob's not paying me. No, belts don't mean jack. Belts just mean you're champion. Belts don't mean you're Conor McGregor all of a sudden. Belts don't mean you're Floyd Mayweather. You have to build that by winning and promoting. Kambosos has won 1 fight. Haney has won no fights. And I'm not being funny, if you can make $1 million on that basis, having beat no one, you should be grateful. Go and make good destiny. Yeah? So yeah, Eddie Hearn's in the wrong for gassing the place up in the past, but now, if Eddie Hearn's offering you $1 million, both fighters should take it off with both hands, unless they've got better offers elsewhere. If the market's offering you another deal, a better deal, take it. But the point is, you shouldn't be stalling and fronting like you've got better options somewhere else. You haven't. Yeah, Kambosos ain't no name. And you keep talking about Australia. Listen, if Australia have got a big bag for you, go and get the bag. That's the point though. Kambosos is complaining about wanting Australia, but Australia ain't putting their hands in their pocket for you. Oops. And if that means that Dazn and their small coins is all you've been offered, you need to take it. That's the bottom line. But yeah, what a mess of a situation. I want to see the fight. I don't want to see no more going around in circles. He said, she said. But let's see anyway.